You know somebody moves the needle when people are willing to pay ginormous amount of money. Is that a word? A massive amount of money to see Caitlin Clark play ball. And some of these ticket prices for these games against the Sky and the Wings are pretty unbelievable and pretty eye-opening.
Would you pay a rent to see a 40-minute basketball game? While Angel Reese, despite her enormous social media following, hasn't caused the same ticket craze, thousands are responding with their money, paying more than $3,000 on tickets to see Caitlin Clark. As Clark fills gyms across the country, this stark gap between these rookies shows something fundamental about basketball attractiveness and audience investment. Following their separate routes to WNBA prominence, Reese develops her brand using a variety of platforms, including goods and the internet. These two strategies for creating value in women's basketball yield radically different outcomes in the marketplace.
So, we talked a lot about attendance last year and ratings, but gate revenue was a massive big deal. All right, people were willing to pay massive amounts of money above the actual ticket value, original ticket value, to get in and watch Caitlin Clark play ball.
That's correct, but let me tell you something crazy now. Due to a single player, WNBA tickets are more expensive than courtside NBA seats. Caitlin Clark, these regular season WNBA games in mid-August are being offered at jaw-dropping prices. We're not talking about playoff tickets or finals games.
There's some ticket prices from August 22nd against the Minnesota Lynx that the prices are pretty eye-opening. Keep in mind, the closer we get to these games, the higher the price.
Just a year ago, you could walk up to most WNBA arenas and get decent seats for $20 to $30. Now, fans are spending all of their savings just to be in the building when Clark takes the court. The market has undergone a staggering transformation since Clark single-handedly changed the market overnight. Remember the days when you could see a WNBA game for less than the price of a movie and some popcorn?
And of course, most of these teams have already moved games to bigger arenas, because they know what to expect when Caitlin Clark comes to town. But that's crazy.
Tickets for the Indiana Fever vs. New York Liberty game cost more than $3,433, while Chicago Sky games cost between $3,322 and $3,460, which is more than most people's monthly rent or mortgage payment. These prices are comparable to those of high-end events like Taylor Swift concerts, but they are for regular season WNBA games that feature an Iowa rookie, age 22. The fact that these are August games that would have had thousands of empty seats prior to Clark's arrival rather than championship or historic matches is quite astounding.
I mean, you're talking about a hell of a lot of money on ticket prices for these games. And, even some of these other ones, let's see, $756, $791, $1,300, $1,173, $1,000. There's some for $500. Get them while you can.
This change in the economy has totally changed women's basketball. Clark's extraordinary influence has destroyed the entire economic framework of women's sports, and the secondary market aptly captures this craze. Tickets that were once fairly priced are now being resold for 10 to 20 times their face value. There has never been anything like this in women's basketball, and Clark has made supporters anxious about missing history, which drives them to pay anything to get seats.
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star, and Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate. They both get along. They're cool with each other. They're high-end competitors, etc.
This phenomena is not limited to high-profile games. Tickets for games against less well-known clubs are also rising. Every game becomes a must-see event thanks to the Clark effect. When Indiana comes to town, the owners of the opposition teams rejoice because their arena will be sold out for the first time in years. The rival teams sincerely praise Clark for increasing ticket sales. Clark is a basketball unicorn that fans will be delighted to tell their grandchildren they witnessed in person because of her unique playing style, magnetic charisma, and otherworldly talent.
a really good feel for when she should take a defender based on who it is. And that time, going to her left, she has that one foul, knows it's important not to pick up the second because she got 2 in the first quarter against Connecticut.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who joined the league with a sizable fan base of her own, isn't producing a portion of the same level of ticket demand.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that."
Clark lets her game speak for itself, while Ree uses fashion deals and social media to grow her brand, and the market reacts historically in Chicago. The most shocking aspect of the Clark effect isn't the ticket prices. Rather, it's who is actually purchasing those tickets. When Indiana visits town, the crowd doesn't even resemble your typical basketball audience anymore. Instead, we're witnessing something unprecedented, a player who somehow draws in fans who have never seen a full basketball game in their lives. Sky games without Clark generate average ticket prices, but when Clark's fever comes to town, those same seats suddenly cost thousands.
And Caitlin Clark declared for the draft a few months ago. The team knew they were getting a megastar. It's Caitlin Clark. We all know that. They are now seeing that the Clark effect.
The crowd at any Indiana Fever game these days is a magnetic mashup of celebrities, influencers, families with small children, and casual onlookers who are unable to tell the difference between basic basketball plays. Clark's appeal has exploded through the traditional WNBA fan base, transforming games into what insiders refer to as red carpet events. Remember those awkward, empty sections at Indiana Fever games? They vanished. Clark's games are packed with faces you wouldn't expect at women's basketball, like a strong magnet drawing even the most basketball-indifferent people into arenas.
She's brought a lot of excitement to this city. Her niece, Robin, lives in Indianapolis and is also a big Fever fan.
It's almost a full house every game. It's awesome to see. Obviously, like restaurants and hotels and everything around the city are getting revenue and stuff from coming to see them play. So it's a great time.
When Caitlin Clark performs, arenas sell out, concessions explode, and fans flock to see her live. Her presence alone brings the league an unprecedented financial boost for a rookie. These days, Indiana Feverway games are the most popular ticket in every city. Clark has become a cultural phenomenon, in contrast to Angel, and she not only draws in basketball fans but also cultivates new ones. Many people are unable to identify a starter on the Aces. Ree is astute, and she controls social media. Unlike Clark's, her fan base hasn't resulted in ticket sales. Ree shifts algorithms, Clark shifts arenas, and the league's overall economy is revolutionized.
McDonald's commercial where she goes, "Nothing but that." No, that commercial took weeks to make, man. Cause bang! McDonald's be trolling me at this point, cause this is everything but net. Bang! Again! No, why? What is she doing?
Hear what none of y'all say. She's my favorite hooper. Look at this soft touch. It's like a pillow.
Bang! You know that Caitlin Clark was more likely to make a three-pointer than Angel Reese was to make a layup? Yeah, that's a real stat. Bang! Just kidding, but it's close though. Last time, 3-ball, butter pecan.
Fans and major media sources are anticipating Clark's second season at levels never seen before for any WNBA player, and the question isn't simply about raising rookie stats. The question is whether this cultural phenomenon can last, and whether she can keep attracting large audiences and fans who had previously disregarded women's basketball. People pay thousands to watch Clark play because they are witnessing true excellence that is already altering the way the game is played at the highest level. Her rookie season was historic, as she led the league in assists and three-pointers made.
Expectations are sky high for the 23-year-old point guard. Coming into 2025 in her inaugural run, Clark was instrumental in securing the Fever's first playoff berth since 2016, led the league in assists and three-pointers made.
Excellence comes with a cost, and the statistics from Clark's rookie season show why ticket prices are constantly rising. You would think that a rookie would need some time to get used to playing in the professional league, but Clark broke expectations in her first season, and her coach is already working to make her unbeatable the following season. Looking at Clark's rookie resume, which reads like a veteran all-star's career highlights, You can see that she earned all WNBA first team honors, MAC.
Think about that a minute. She's a rookie, led the league in assists and three-pointers made. Named to her first All-Star game and all WNBA first team.
The league's average assist leader totals about 7 assists per game, but Clark surpassed this mark while also establishing herself as an elite shooter. This dual threat capability fundamentally altered how teams defended against the Fever, turning the Indiana Fever from basketball's forgotten franchise into a playoff contender after 7 long years without postseason basketball since 2016. Clark dominated the WNBA in both assists and three-pointers, categories that are normally dominated by specialists rather than rookies. Clark's entrance coincided with the team's comeback to prominence. With her leadership and play, she improved everyone around her and altered the course of an entire organization.
That Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. She's the cash cow. And wherever she goes, ratings follow. The WNBA draft, the doubleheader to open the NBA season. Ratings. I'm going to remind y'all that in the 28-year history of the WNBA, only 9 players in the league's history have eclipsed on-court earnings of $1 million.
The organization's dedication to building around their star is demonstrated by coach Stephanie White, who acknowledges Clark's enormous potential and is strategically developing her game even further. White specifically focused on helping Clark diversify her finishing ability and make her unpredictable for opponents.
I think from just a straight basketball perspective, making sure that we help her diversify, her finishing ability, diversify in the way that it's not predictable, to be able to be equal in terms of production and facilitation going right and left, to be able to have different types of finishing looks, whether it's, crossbody finishes, whether it's floaters at the rim, whether it's quick floaters, long floaters, Euros.
In Fever procedures, Clark's game is already taking on new aspects as she works on off-ball cuts to create scoring opportunities, develops sophisticated finishing moves around the basket, and improves her already remarkable passing abilities. This commitment demonstrates a player's desire to keep getting better rather than relying just on early success.
You can't quite be as fundamentally predictable with as much athleticism, speed, quickness, and as much as the game plan is going to be geared toward her. And then I think the challenge for us as coaches is how do we get a rest when she's on the floor while she's playing, right? Like while she's on the floor. And some of that's going to be playing off ball, utilize her as a screener, getting her into action on the third and fourth side instead of the first and second where it's easy to game plan against.
The fact that Clark accomplished her rookie feats while still learning the professional game and applying Coach White's technique to become that unsolvable conundrum makes them all the more impressive. Fans spend thousands of dollars on tickets because her ceiling keeps getting higher. While Clark devotes her off-season time to basketball growth and team success, they are watching the emergence of what may turn out to be one of basketball's greatest careers. Her unwavering dedication to become better contrasts sharply with other rookies who put more emphasis on developing their personal brands than honing their basketball talents.
If you want to see Clark take the court live this year, the tickets are available for all the 2025 Fever games, including 7 against Angel Reese, 4 with Paige Becker's Dallas Wings, and a quartet alongside Breanna Stewart's reigning champion.
The WNBA as a whole is experiencing a financial earthquake because to the players' disparity, which extends beyond their practice habits. Would you think that regular season tickets against the Minnesota Lynx are close to $900? These are regular season games that were essentially throwaway contests only a few years ago. They are neither playoff tickets nor championship games.
So let's check this out. Let's start with August 22nd against the Lynx. Look at this, folks. There you see that. That's a game a hell of a long way off. All right? 3 months, but 4 months away. And there are tickets available that are $945 each already.
The upcoming games on July 13th, when Indiana plays Dallas and Indianapolis, mark a change in women's basketball. Standard tickets start at about $190 and courtside seats go up to $1,900. Instead of just going to a game, people are making memories they'll tell their grandchildren about seeing history.
July 13th, this is also in Indianapolis. Dallas Wings at Indiana Fever, $1,901. Right there, courtside. $1,900.
Game by game, the entire women's basketball landscape is changing. The upcoming matchups between former rivals like Paige Byers and the UConn Phenom, who faced Clark during their college careers, will be crucial, and when those two play in the WNBA, ticket prices will probably soar. Even more matchups against long-standing champions like the Minnesota Lynx and Las Vegas Aces are turning into historic occasions that will define this new era.
Then we've got that game, May 17th, Chicago Sky, $3,322 and $3,460.
Clark's influence has made every Fever game a cultural landmark. Prior to Clark, the average WNBA attendance hovered about 6,000 spectators. Now, Indiana is unable to construct arenas quickly enough, and when the Chicago Sky play, the Fever ticket prices cause even diehard fans to pause. Caitlin fans now plan their vacation budgets around seeing Clark play, with many choosing between weekend getaways and spending 2 hours watching a basketball game. Clark has become an appointment viewing phenomenon in a way that has never been seen in the WNBA before, and we are seeing discussions about supply and demand economics in relation to WNBA tickets, which were previously reserved for major sporting events like Super Bowls and NBA Finals.
Let's say they're first in the standings, or second, or third. In other words, you can tell this turns into a massively important playoff run kind of game. How high are these tickets going to be then? That's really interesting.
What will happen to the WNBA if this pricing trend persists? Will networks pay exorbitant sums for the privilege to broadcast? Will we see actual premium seating experiences created especially for women's games? Nobody is certain where the ceiling may be, and the ripple effects are only getting started. This appears to be a permanent change in the way women's basketball is viewed. Each game is turning into a historic occasion that attracts basketball fans, celebrities, influencers, and casual sports fans ready to experience history. These aren't just games, though. They're landmark events that will be discussed for decades, much like how we discuss Jordan's iconic performances or the impact of the Dream Team. The courts where Clark plays are performed are evolving into venues of cultural importance, turning the once overlooked into the must-see.
That's pretty amazing. By the way, Angel Reese might want to be careful because those Liberty tickets are just a hair less than $30 cheaper than the game against Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky.
There is more going on here than just pricey tickets. As Coach White observes, Clark's dedication to improving her game sets her apart and ensures her continued dominance. It's about what Caitlin Clark represents. Her impact comes from genuine skill, an incredible work ethic, and that unique ability to make people feel something when they watch her play. She's also created the model for success in women's sports that others will follow. As ticket prices skyrocketed at the start of our narrative, Clark's reputation is growing and permanently changing women's basketball, raising a crucial question for the WNBA. Are they prepared for the new standard she is setting?